prepare, know the game plan, and hopefully go out and execute.
What'd you know about this rivalry growing up?
So I grew up a Georgia fan, but actually played at Tech back in 2016 whenever I played at Mercer. So this isn't my first time playing there, but I know this game's just different. And I know we prepare differently here for Tech than we do a lot of other teams. It's different. It's more of a pride thing, I think. And it'll be really interesting to see how Tech comes out with their new offense, new coaching staff. They've had some ups and downs this year, but they just beat NC State this past Thursday night, and it's going to be really cool. It'll be a lot of fun. We're excited.
No offense about the job you have, but what kind of reaction in general do you get when you tell people you're the long snapper for the punt team?
I take a lot of pride. I know if my name's not being said or talked about, I'm normally doing my job, and so I like to stay behind the scenes. I'll let Jake and Rod and those guys take all the credit. But I think it comes a lot with the nature of the position. I do my job, and as long as my name's not being called, I'm doing my job, and I take a lot of pride in that. I like to stay behind the scenes.
What kind of progress have you seen in Camarda this year?
Man, he's grown up a lot. Especially you look back at the Notre Dame game, it probably wasn't his best game, but then you fast forward to Auburn. I was thinking about it earlier this morning. That game was a lot about field position. And we punted 11 times that game, and I think he had a massive effect in the game as far as putting Auburn deep and making them go 80, 90 yards and try to get some points on the board against our defense. Jake's grown up a lot. He's only getting better every week.
Describe the importance that Coach Smart places on special teams.
He loves special teams. He's in every special teams meeting every single day, and I think that says a lot about him as a coach. A lot of the coaching staff, a lot of schools, they won't put a lot of emphasis in special teams. But man, he's in every meeting. He's at every walkthrough. He knows exactly what everyone's doing on every position in the field on all four phases of special teams. So they love special teams here. We take a lot of pride in it. I know I do. All the snappers, kickers, and punters take a lot of pride in it. And even the offensive and defensive players that are on the special teams in the shield and the punt and kickoff return. Everyone wants to score. Everyone wants to have an effect because we know that's a third of the game. And everyone kind of does their one part of the 11 guys in the field.
Kirby was talking about how there are so many rivalries for Georgia, but what is it about this one that makes it different?
I think it's just in-state. If you grow up in the state of Georgia, you're going to either if you're a big-time recruit, Tech's going to look at you, Georgia's going to look at you. And I know here in Georgia, here in Athens, we don't really like Tech. We want to win, and it's bragging rights for the year. Kind of how Georgia, Florida is, but it's bragging rights in state. We know 2016 they came in and beat us here in Sanford Stadium. And a lot of the guys that were on the team that year, man, we've already been talking about how it just left a sour taste in their mouth and how we're excited to go out and perform again this Saturday.
Even though it's not here in Athens, does it kind of irritate you to see the players with pieces of the hedges?
Yeah, it does, and we have some pictures around with them. You know, they're from that year when they broke off the hedges and stuff, and we take a lot of pride in our facilities here and the hedges, and it just kind of rubs us the wrong way. But man, we are really excited to get back out and play them again this Saturday in Atlanta. It's going to be a fun game. It's going to be a war. It'll be a physical game.
Where are those pictures?
We have them in the weight room. They're around. It's just motivational things to keep us in check, keep our minds straight, knowing that hey, this is a game that we need to win, a game that we must win, to keep in state and keep battling.
So you said that you remember watching the game, that you grew up a Georgia fan. Is there a game you remember growing up as a kid watching Georgia Tech that really kind of stuck with you?
No, not Georgia Tech. I would say probably one of the most games I remember was watching the Rose Bowl 2 years ago when I wasn't on the team.
Yeah.
Remember I was sitting at home in the living room with my family, my mom and dad watching that game. And remember, I was like, man, what a cool game. But I don't have any memories of watching Georgia Tech. I just know it's a rivalry and it's a game that we're going to look forward to hopefully going out and executing the game plan.
And then also as a graduate transfer coming in this year, I mean, how much value do you have in Kirby Smart and his family, I suppose, for kind of letting you in? And like,
oh man, I really appreciate Coach Smart coming in and letting me come in and have an effect. It's being a transfer, you take a risk. I left Mercer, a great established program. to come here and take a risk to play my last year of eligibility. I'll get a master's after this year, and I can't appreciate him and his coaching staff and what this program has done to give me the opportunity to play at a big level and kind of fulfill a childhood dream.
And you're from Kennesaw?
I am, yes.
I don't know how much Georgia Tech fans are in that area or not, but obviously they have a new coaching staff. They're trying to kind of go with the 404 as their theme.
That's right.
And do you think that's catching on to some people as opposed to like how tough is it for them to carve out a niche in this state when Georgia's so good in football recently?
I don't think it's tough. It's a recruiting battle. And I think here at Georgia, we do a great job of recruiting. They have their new coaching staff. They're building up a lot of excitement around their program. New offense. It's a new transition year for them. But I think they do a good job of recruiting. They have a great university, a very respectable degree that they really preach. And but I think here at Georgia, we just look forward to going out and playing, and we take a lot of pride in what we do here. And I think that's what we focus on.
This is obviously your first season here, but they've been used to playing a couple of games before the SEC championship game and kind of keeping the focus on that week's opponent. How did they do that, and how did you do it this year as well, knowing that there's a big game against LSU coming up next week, and I guess not looking too far ahead?
We don't look too far ahead. We focus on Georgia Tech this week. After the game Saturday, then Sunday we'll turn the tables and then start looking forward to LSU. But this game's just as important as the LSU game. We look forward to going in and playing, but we know we have a game plan we have to execute, and Tech's no team to overlook. They're a good, very respectable team, and we have a game plan, and we're going to go practice this week and look forward to executing on Saturday.
And then, in terms of being a Mercer guy, I want to ask you a couple questions about Bobby, because of the news that came out yesterday.
Yeah, absolutely.
First off, do you have a favorite memory with Bobby that you kind of look back on?
Man, there's a lot of memories. I can think back to whenever we played there. I was in 2015, and we upset Chattanooga, who was number 3 at that time. And it was a military home appreciation game. But I have nothing but the best regards for Coach Lamb. I respect him as a man, as a coach. He built that program right from the ground up, and he's going to fall on his feet, no doubt, here at whatever next job he gets.
And then in terms of the program, as we start looking for a head coach, what type of things does a program like Mercer need in a head coach in order to be successful?
I think they're going to find the right guy. They have their athletic director Jim Coles does a great job, and President Bill Underwood. They do a great job of looking and finding the guy that's going to, one, have a great team and have a successful program, but two, build better men. And I know one thing that's what Coach Lamb has done, and he really prided himself in. Yes, we want to win football games, and yes, Mercer wants to be known as a top-tier degree and program, but he also wants to build better men. And I think he does a great job of that. Whatever head coach next steps in, they'll do the same thing.
How would you assess how the special teams have done this year in general?
I think we're doing really well. Our punt team is, I think, right now, is number 1 in the conference, and our other teams are right behind that. I think we do a good job. Coach Fount does a great job scheming up. And we have calls and audibles, I think, for everything. I know those coaches spend hours and hours and hours watching film and game planning and putting our special teams unit in the best case to be successful.
So what goes into that? I mean, obviously the punter is the face of the special teams. Like what goes into like the line and like all the schemes? Like what are schemes and special teams?
Well, we'll watch film today, and the special teams coaches, Coach Smart will come up with a good game plan on how to find ways to beat, could be pick blocks or whatever it may be, but find ways to put our guys in the best situation to make plays and have an effect in the game.
Were you involved in the meetings that went on like the onside kick? Like oh, we decided to do the onside kick?
Yeah, we talk about those in meetings Sunday, Monday, Tuesday. We meet every day, and that's another reason I think it's great to be a special teams player here at the University of Georgia. This Coach Smart puts such a big emphasis on special teams, and like I said earlier, he's in every single special teams meeting. He puts a lot of pride into it, and he really cares about it. He knows that that could be our competitive advantage in a lot of these games where, hey, offense and defense is really important, but special teams could be that next step to kind of get us over whatever hump we may face that game.
Yeah,